Hey, everybody, welcome to the Glen Kuiper Show on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, coming to you live from Scottsdale Stadium in Scottsdale, Arizona. You can see the field behind me as they get it ready for practice again tomorrow. Game today, which ended in a Giants win. We're going to talk about that, but excited to be down here. I've been down here for 4 days. And it's been great. I'm going to be down here for 2 weeks, so I'm excited. And we'll do as many shows as we can from down here in this setting. So good stuff all around. We'll talk about today's game. We'll talk about the first 3 weeks of spring training. We'll talk about the WBC, which gets started this week. That's pretty exciting. So anyways, busy show, but a fun show as we come to you live from Scottsdale Stadium. Glen Kuiper Show is brought to you by Tilden Properties. By investing in California's multifamily real estate with Tilden Properties, you'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. Bay Area-based, family-owned Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. And isn't that what you want as an investor? If you're interested, go to their website at tildenproperties.com or give them a call at 925-209-8558. We're also brought to you in part by the Kehrig Real Estate Team. Kehrig Real Estate Team is a family-owned real estate team serving clients in Danville, Alamo, San Ramon, and really across the entire Bay Area for nearly 50 years. Now, if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, connect with Mike Kehrig. It's Mike Kehrig, Kehrig, at mike@kehrigteam.com, or give them a call at 925-548-4132, or look at the Kehrig Team website at kehrigteam.com. So for trusted local guidance from a team that truly knows the Bay Area, visit again kehrigteam.com or call that number. We're also brought to you in part by the good folks at Partners Capital LLC. It's a wealth management firm providing financial strategies for elite performance and lasting peace of mind. Partners Capital delivers thoughtful planning, steady guidance, and a clear path forward. Partners Capital, your partner for a stronger financial future. Call them at 1-888-702-7743. And we're also brought to you by Area Rug Cleaning Direct. It's a subsidiary of Gamble's Flooring. Now, if your area rug needs professional cleaning or repair, Area Rug Cleaning Direct will pick up your rug and return your rug looking brand new within 5 business days. If you're interested, call Area Rug Cleaning Direct at 925-933-9999. And I want to give a shout out to what is my new favorite East Bay restaurant. I live in the East Bay, and this place has come on, and it is the place to be. Original Joe's is now in Walnut Creek. I'm telling you, folks, I've been there probably a dozen times already, and great vibe, great scene. The food is outstanding. The service is terrific. And it is, I'm telling you, it is the place to be now in the East Bay. You got to call ahead. You got to get your reservations. It's Original Joe's now in Walnut Creek, right on Broadway Plaza. And listen, we know Original Joe's. It's a Bay Area institution. It's been family owned and operated for nearly 90 years, but now they have stretched out into the East Bay. So great restaurant, super fun. You got families in there, you have couples in there, you have groups of people in there, and everybody is having a great time. So check it out. It's open daily for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. That's the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek. So indeed, check it out. All right, let's get started with the show for this afternoon. And before we talk about the game and spring training, I do have some personal news that I wanted to share. Most of you probably have a pretty good idea what it's all about, but it is very exciting for me. I have been hired by the San Francisco Giants to be part of their broadcast team for 2026. Excited, grateful to the Giants for this opportunity. And listen, I have a pretty good understanding of the responsibility and the expectations that come with being a Giants broadcaster. I mean, you think about fans who have been listening to Giants baseball, whether on TV or on the radio, really since they came to San Francisco in 1958. you had Russ Hodges and Lon Simmons to start all through the 60s. Both those guys are in the Hall of Fame. But you think about guys who went on to become national broadcasters, Al Michaels, Lindsey Nelson, the great Lindsey Nelson. Most people remember him. Hank Greenwald. And the guys now, they're the best broadcasting team in all of baseball. It's pretty well known. John Miller's a Hall of Famer. Glen Kuiper should be a Hall of Famer. Mike Krukow should be a Hall of Famer. Dave Fleming is one of the best broadcasters out there. And to be joining that group, honestly, it's quite an honor. And again, I'm very thankful. And I will say this to Giants fans: I will take that responsibility of being a San Francisco Giants announcer very, very seriously. And I will do a good job when given the opportunity. But I'm very excited about it. And I just wanted to kind of share it from me to you, even though you probably knew about it already, but I did want to share it personally. And so good stuff. And I'm very proud to say that I am now a San Francisco Giants broadcaster. I'll do my first radio show, radio game with John Miller on Tuesday. It'll be Team USA is coming to town. They'll be here at Scottsdale Stadium. Team USA, full of all-stars. They will take on the Giants in an exhibition game, and John Miller and I will do that game on KNBR, which is very exciting. So we'll also be doing a couple of the audio cast games with Joe Rizzo. Of course, Joe does a great job with the audio cast games. You can get those on sfgiants.com. Those are the games that are not on KNBR. And Joe and I will be doing one of those actually tomorrow against the White Sox over at Glendale. So anyways, wanted to get that out there. And again, I appreciate the support from everybody. But this is it's an exciting time for me, and I'm sure you guys can understand why. So anyways, we'll get that out of the way. Good baseball game today here at Scottsdale. The Giants play good baseball. It was the game 9 of their exhibition schedule. So it's really early yet. They got a lot of games to play down here, but they won today by a final score of 9-1. So their record now 7-2. If you're into the spring training records, which I think we all have a pretty good idea that they don't always mean much. But the Giants have played pretty clean baseball down here, and they've hit the ball well. But today, 9 runs on 14 hits. They did 6 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They only struck out 5 times, and I know that's important to all of us. It's important to many of my the listeners and viewers out there. So they're doing a pretty good job of putting the ball in play. But all in all, it was just a good, solid performance. Great atmosphere. It was warm today. 9,302 was the attendance. Just a gorgeous day at Scottsdale Stadium. You guys know what it's like here. The berms were full of people, and it's hot, but it's been in the 90s all weekend. So a good baseball game today. Logan Webb started his last start before heading off with the WBC, and he looked good. 3 innings, a couple of hits, gave up a run. So he made 2 starts here. We'll see how many starts he makes for Team USA, depending on obviously how far they go. But 38 pitches today for Webb. His first start down here, he threw 26 pitches. So, the progression. They try to maybe add 15 pitches each start down here. But he's going off, obviously, with Team USA. But that pitch amount thing's not going to change a lot. So, you'll probably see him throw 50 to 55 pitches when he makes his first start for Team USA, which looks like, and I don't think this is official, but he is lined up to actually start the first WBC game for Team USA, which would be on Friday. We'll talk about the WBC a little later on in the show and look at the Team USA schedule and that type of thing. But anyways, so Logan Webb looked good today. JT Brubaker came in. He looked good a couple innings. He's got a pretty good chance to be in this bullpen. And all the pitchers look good. Caleb Gillian came in. He's a non-roster invitee who is starting to make some noise. He threw an inning. He's looked good so far. Again, even though it is pretty early. Offensively, Giants scored early, 3 in the first. It was fun. A couple stolen bases. We saw a hit and run. We saw a first to third. So it was really, I mean, just a really good, solid game by the Giants. I'm just looking at the box here. Pitchers only walked 1, struck out 8. That's been a little bit of an issue in the early going. But again, only 9 games in so far. And I think they play, I think I said a total of 33 games down here. So they still got 24 more games to play total in the exhibition season. So lots of time yet for guys to make moves, try to make this team. But it has been a good start for the team. It was great. I like to walk around the ballpark sometimes, even though it was hot today. But I went out to the Charo Lounge, which is out in right field. In fact, you can see it right there. It's really fun out there. I watched a couple innings from there in the shade, and just kind of enjoyed the vibe of this ballpark, which I've said many times. Before I was coming down here, we talked about it a couple times on the show. I think it's the best vibe in the Cactus League. I really do. So before we move on to our the next segment, which will just talk about spring training the first 3 weeks, we got some comments coming in, which is great. I'd love to get to the comments. All right, let's see. Let's check it out. Love from Scottsdale. Yeah, I'm a softie for Scottsdale. I really am. It's pretty good. Cole says, Glenn, please talk about your new deal with the Giants. I'm a fill-in announcer on radio doing play-by-play. John Miller doesn't do all 162 games. Dwayne doesn't do all 162 games, obviously. When Dwayne doesn't go on road trips and stuff, Dave Fleming a lot of times moves over to do TV. John's been doing this is his 53rd year. I was talking to him the other 53rd year doing play-by-play as a big leaguer. How awesome is that? But John doesn't do all the games, so there's places where a fill-in announcer on radio is needed, and I will fill in some there. It's not a huge amount of games, but it's good to be back in the booth. And as I said, I'm very excited about it, as you can imagine. Cole says, Mr. Yeah, well. Okay, and Bake That Dough says, Glenn, happy to hear you. We'll be back in the booth. Looking forward to the first Giants, and that baby is gone. Yes, I will. I will keep that home run call, whether you like it or not. I got to keep it. I can't. You can't start new things at this point. Okay, that's the call, and I got to stick with it. Left on base too often. We're going to have a phenomenal time with Glenn. Well, thank you. It's very super kind. You guys know how to make a guy feel good. Congratulations, Glenn. Brother, we're all extremely happy that you're back in the booth. You deserve this. Thanks, man. Geez, you people are going to make me get emotional. Be careful here. I'm so happy for you. Can't wait to listen to you and the crew. Yeah, just being with these guys, man, oh man. It's pretty impressive, the group that I'm joining. How has Bo Davidson been doing? He hasn't played a lot. I watched his batting practice the other day. He's a very impressive young man. He's strong. He's big and strong, real athletic looking, beautiful swing. But he's going to start to get some more playing time just because the starting outfielders are all going to be in the WCC. So I think, we're seeing a lot of Matos right now. Encarnacion getting time out there for obvious reasons, but we're going to start seeing, I think, a little bit more of Bo Davidson probably this week. So I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. He's an impressive looking young man. Great company to be around. Yes. And you know what? That's not just the Giants announcers. Giants organization has just been sensational. And, happy for you. I appreciate that. Eddie says, I'm really impressed with costs. That's a good point. In fact, I'm going to go through that soon. Kind of the things I've seen in costs has been really good in spring training. Spring training, but we saw him quite a bit last year, and I really like him as an extra player, and he's looked really good down here. And I think I don't think there's any reason to think that he wouldn't be on this team because, he can do a lot of things, and he can help you. Real feisty player, plays hard. So yeah, and he's done a nice job down here. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. 49ers Red Zone says it's about time. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it, 49er Red Zone. And I appreciate all you guys watching, as you have really, really helped the show a ton. Doc Holliday says, do you think Matos makes the team or gets traded? That's a great question. It's a question that is, I don't want to say hanging over spring training, because that's way too dramatic. But it is a question that's out there, out of options. Doc, you know the whole story. If the Giants don't keep him, other teams will have a chance to grab him because he's out of options. I don't know. If I was just to guess, I would say that he probably does not make the team. Not because there's Brennan has looked good. Brennan's a left-handed hitter. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. I hate to throw guesses out there, but I think it may be difficult for him to stick just because there may not be a spot for him. That's just my opinion. I have not heard necessarily anything about that, but we all know the situation with Luis Matos. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. And yeah, Matos and Encarnacion, both out of options. They're both in the same boat, okay? Meaning if the Giants don't keep them on the 26-man roster, they're exposed to waivers and they can be picked up by any other team, and both these guys would certainly get picked up. Now, if they didn't, then they would clear waivers and the Giants could keep them in their organization. I don't think those two guys, if they were exposed to waivers, teams would grab both of those guys. I don't think there's any question. So, that's the situation. Encarnacion, he's going to get a long look here. He can play first base. I think he's better in the outfield than people think. He's serviceable out there. He's got a lot of power. Interesting guy. I think the Encarnacion part of the decision with him could be the Bryce Eldridge decision. Because if Eldridge makes it, then you have a DH first baseman. You have two really with Devers and Eldridge. Eldridge is not going to make the team and sit on the bench. So I think that will come into play when it comes to Encarnacion, which, again, we've had these conversations before. So anyways, so good stuff. Keep the comments coming. We're going to move on to the next hold on here. We've got to get rid of this. We're going to move on to the next segment as I get the comments out. But yeah, you guys are on top of it today. Good stuff. You guys know what's going on. So spring training week 3 is indeed in the books. And so now I think it starts to get interesting because we have 3 more weeks left, right? Yeah, 3 more weeks left before the team out of here, back to the Bay Area. And then, you're right on the cusp of the regular season getting started. So 3 weeks done, 3 weeks to go. So we're halfway through spring training. Things that I've seen, thoughts that I have, like I said, I haven't been down here a long time, but I will be here for 2 more weeks. But things that I'm hearing, I asked around a little bit, very smooth camp. Does that mean more wins in the win column? No, of course not. But listen, you have a brand new manager. We know the story with him. You got 12 coaches, 12. And many of them are new. But from what everybody has said that I've talked to down here, talked to members of the media, I've talked to some of the coaches, it has been a very, very smooth, well-run camp. And these things aren't easy. Every camp has it. But you got to, there's a lot. You got 60 guys. They need to be here and here and here, and batting practice, infield practice, batting cages. It's like this, right? So there's a lot going on. But you want it to be smooth. It has been smooth from what everybody says. I talked to Ron Washington yesterday just briefly. He said something so great. And I guess I'm getting off the subject here, but I said, hey, it's great to be back. It's great to have you in orange and black. And he said, I need this. I need baseball. And how great is that? This is a guy who's been in baseball for such a long time. He just had a very serious health situation that he's good now. He had surgery. He's back. but he said, I need this. I need baseball. And he was very excited to be in the orange and black, which was cool. I thought that was kind of neat. But anyways, the camp has been great, according to the people that are down here, just from an organizational standpoint. Vitello's been fine. He's moving around. He's learning everything. He's learning players. He's learning coaches. He's learning how to be a big league manager. Think about that. He's learning how to be a big league manager. But listen, folks, he's sharp, and it's been fun to watch him. But he's got a lot to do. I mean, he's moving around. He's got a lot of obligations media-wise. But he's been good at it. And the games themselves. It's only 9 games. It's exhibition. It's a lot different. You're not making pivotal pitching changes here. You're just bringing guys in to get innings. But that's going to come. That's going to come. And there may be a hiccup here and there. But all in all, it's been smooth so far. The bullpen's been interesting. We've talked tons about the bullpen really all winter long, right? And it is an issue. It's an issue that we're watching closely, I think is probably the best way to put it. There's not any big names, right? There's not an all-star closer. There's not an all-star setup man. But what you're seeing is, and this is what I think the Giants really hoped, a large group of guys, and somebody, not just one, but maybe a couple guys show up. So let's go. Somebody grab a role. Right? Grab a bullpen role. There's openings, man. There may be 2, there may be 3, there may be 4 openings. We don't know. We don't know who's a lock yet. We've discussed that on this show as well. But listen, if there's 2 or 3 openings, and there's a lot of guys competing for that. And there's some guys that are off to really good starts. Again, a lot of exhibition games to be played, a lot of opportunities for innings there. But Trevor McDonald has been really good. He's one of those young starters that has a chance to maybe make the team as a bullpen. He's been really good. Again, we're talking about a couple appearances, but still, you see it. He's confident. He throws strikes. Tidwell has looked good. Seymour has looked good. Michael Fulmer, a non-roster invitee, he's been around. He has looked good. Santos has got really good stuff. He just has to harness it. Caleb Killian, another non-roster invitee. He pitched today. He has looked very good. Matt Gage, the left-hander, has looked good. Gage, another guy who's out of options. And, we don't know about Sam Hedges. He hasn't pitched yet. He's still sort of rehabbing a little bit. He may not be ready by opening day, and that would help Gage out as another left-hander. But my point is as I think you would hope that all this big group of pitchers that are there's an opportunity sitting there in front of them, and you want some of these guys to grab that opportunity. It's too early to tell who's grabbed an opportunity, but it's not too early to say, that guy looked pretty good. He's pitched 3 times. He's looked good. And that's sort of where we're at right now. But those are the guys that have looked good. Those are the guys that some of the people around the Giants are talking about, like, hey, he's looked good in the early going. But again, still very early, but guys, names to keep an eye on. Birdsong has struggled. That's an issue. Wisenhunt has struggled. So now you're thinking, you got to watch those guys. There's plenty of time for them. But you want to get outs. You want to throw strikes and you want to get outs. So the bullpen continues to be something that we're all going to watch very close. And it could be a bullpen that evolves as the season goes on. And that's not something new. Most bullpens kind of evolve a little bit, and there are some changes in it, as the season goes on. So that's sort of what I've seen from the bullpen, but still plenty of time. Bryce Eldridge, this is interesting to me. Bryce Eldridge, he has the most at-bats of any Giant hitter so far through the first 9 games of the exhibition season. I got him at 4 for 17, couple of doubles. He's got a homer, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. So he has struck out a lot. But again, we said this last year. I've seen him now. I've seen him down here. He doesn't look overmatched. That's a thing. Okay. He's not waving at pitches. He's going to swing and miss, but he's not waving at pitches. He's got a pretty good eye. He takes close pitches. He gets good swings off on pitches that he thinks he can handle. So that's a thing he's young, but he doesn't look overmatched. So that's something I watch for. And now Devers has got a little hamstring. It's not serious. They're going to just be real careful with him. But that's going to help Eldridge because it's going to give him more opportunities. I think the Giants are giving him a long look. And the more at-bats he can get, the better it is to judge him and the better it is for him. Okay. I still don't, I'm, if I was a betting man, I would still think it's still maybe Sacramento to start the season, but maybe not. But the point is Eldridge is getting a lot of opportunities at first base. And that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. And with Rafi Devers just taking it easy with the hamstring, Eldridge is going to continue to be out there. That's great. I think that's great for the kid. And he's an impressive young man. He is huge. I mean, I don't know if you saw, I put out a picture of him standing by the batting cage on X yesterday. He is just massive. I mean, for 20, 21 years old, he is just a huge human being. But moves pretty well, and he has made some nice plays at first base. That's a big deal. He's starting to look a little more comfortable over there, and he's made a couple tough plays. So good stuff, I think, with Bryce Eldridge. Is it going to get him a spot on the opening day roster, opening day lineup? We don't know. We're not there yet. But he's looked good. Daniel Susak has looked good, fighting for that backup catcher's job. Big, tall kid, very athletic. And he's got off to a nice start. He's the Rule 5, so he has to stick on the big league roster all year. Otherwise, he gets offered back to the team that the Giants got him from. So that's something to watch for. But Susak, if he has a good spring, there's no reason why he wouldn't be the backup catcher. And the young man has looked good so far. So that's good news. One kid he's not going to be on the opening day roster. But something to watch for. His name is Victor Barracoda. He's having a terrific spring. Right-handed hitter, outfielder, first baseman. I know you, if you're a Giants fan and you like the minor league stuff, you've seen his name. But he started at Double-A last year, and then he actually made it to Triple-A just for a little while. He only played 11 games in Triple-A last year. But he has opened eyes. And again, it's not that he's going to make the roster. There's still some development there, but he has been fun to watch. He's now 8 for 14 on the year. Think about that, 8 for 14. He's got 9 RB. He hit 2 balls today. He had 2 base hits today. One was 111 mile per hour exit velocity. The second one was 110 mile per hour exit velocity. So fun to watch, And again, this is like a young kid who's turning some heads. Doesn't mean he's going to be on the big league team, but he may start the year in AAA. And if he does, well, we know how close that is. It's a phone call, and it's right down the interstate. So keep an eye on Victor Barracoda. He's been fun to watch, a young guy. And you see that every year. Sometimes the guys fade away, and you don't hear from them again. And sometimes they're making their move. That's great. That's what's fun about it. Christian Koss, we talked a little bit about him earlier in the show. He's done a nice job. He's a good player, and he's looked good in spring. He plays with energy. He's got good speed. He's got a bounce in his step, and we saw him last year be a pretty good backup middle infielder for the Giants. I think he's on this team. I don't see how he wouldn't be, unless there was a trade or something like that. But what makes him valuable is you have to have a backup infielder who can play shortstop. Because if a backup infielder can play shortstop, he can play third base and second base. But some guys can play third base and second base, but they can't play shortstop. You have to have a backup infielder who can play a competent shortstop if asked to fill in. Does that make sense? And Koss can do that. And do a pretty good job defensively. So that's why I think Koss is going to make this team. because of what we saw last year and the importance of what he can do. And that's be a backup shortstop. And you may not need him ever. Willie Adames, he plays every day, but in case something were to happen, you have to have somebody on your bench that can play shortstop. Okay. Because if you can play short, you can handle third and you can handle second. That's the situation with Koss and Casey Schmidt. Are they the same player, Casey Schmidt and Christian Koss? I mean, you may originally think, yeah, they're both right-handed hitters. They're both backup infielders, but I think there's more differential there than I think maybe you think, because Schmidt is better than Koss if he had to play third for a period of time, which we saw Schmidt do last year. And Casey Schmidt can play first base. We saw him be a pretty good first baseman. Koss is not going to play first base unless it's an absolute emergency. So what you have is Casey Schmidt, who I think could play short in a very short-term situation. I think Koss you could put out there for a period of time, and I'm talking defensively. Schmidt you could for a game, but you'd have to be careful there. But Casey plays an excellent third. He's a very good second baseman. We saw major steps made there, and then he could play first base. So if those two guys turn out to be your extra infielders, that's pretty good. That's pretty good because they both can run a little bit. But the Koss thing, he has looked good. He is. I like the kid. There's energy. I like a little energy coming off the bench. I think that's. I think if you're coming off the bench, you need to have that, and certainly Koss has it. Let's check the comments. Let's see. It may be a righty-lefty DH platoon between Eldridge and Encarnacion. Maybe. I don't know that they'll. If Eldridge makes the team, I think he's going to run out there, whether it be DH or first base, almost every day. But yeah, I think if you're going to rest him, you're going to do it against a tough left-hander. But I don't know that they would do a straight platoon with Eldridge. He's a guy that ultimately he needs to be in the lineup every day. But I think if he's struggling a little bit or there's some tough lefties out there, he may catch a break there and sit. But yeah, you have to have somebody who can do it. But again, that's where if that's the case, that Encarnacion needs to be your fourth outfielder, right? If you keep Eldridge, you only have so many spots. If you count Eldridge in your lineup, okay, that's 9 position players right there. When I'm saying 9 guys, 9 roster spots with Eldridge as the DH. That only leaves you with 4 spots for extra players. Okay? If Koss, Schmidt, and your backup catcher, that's 3 right there. You only have 1 more spot. Okay? And is that Encarnacion? Or is it somebody who's just an outfielder because maybe you don't need another first baseman? I don't know. These are all decisions that, we're not making, but there's always tough decisions. There's always tough decisions. If you had your pick right now, who's your number 1 to make the roster? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Besides being unproven, our only flamethrower Peguero has him in pitching due to injury. Yeah, he's close. So he's going to pitch. He's going to pitch this week, from what we've been told. But that's another guy. He's got good stuff. We saw it some last year. Is he ready? Yeah, so there's a huge group of guys fighting for these spots. And yeah, I didn't even mention Peguero because he hasn't pitched yet, but he's legit. Where does he fit in this whole thing? But he is supposed to pitch this week, so that's good news. And there's still plenty of time. Again, you got 3 weeks, so he'll get his innings in as long as he he stays healthy. I mean, he had a little hamstring, I guess. J-Dub says, Giants are cooking. Solid steps so far. Yes, it's very early. But yeah, they you know what? They played good. They've done a good job so far. But again, doesn't always mean much. I think they had the best record in all of spring training last year. It all comes down to March 25th. What happens then with wins and losses? Agree 100% about Koss and Schmidt. Where does that leave Fitzgerald? Good question. Fitzgerald has the advantage of being a pretty good outfielder and a pretty good infielder. He struggles at the plate. We've seen that. But I think he's an above average defender in the infield, and he can play short. And I think he's an above average outfielder. He's got great speed. He brings that element of speed off that you could bring off the bench. Again, that's a very interesting guy because infielder, outfielder, speed, come off the bench. So there's things to like there too. But he's got to hit some. You have to hit some. And he just struggled so badly last year. So, but there's versatility there, and there's the speed element. So I would not count him out. Again, if something happens with the trade or maybe a spot opens up, I don't know. But he has to hit a little bit. Okay, he has to hit to be able to use his speed. So we'll see what happens with Fitzgerald. Not a big fan of platoons unless the righty versus the lefty stats for the player are drastically different. I would, yes, I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. Here's a good one. With the Gilbert injury, and Drew Gilbert, shoulders barking a little bit. He's not going to throw for 7 days. Overdid it a little bit. McRae may get a longer look. He has tools. And, McRae does have tools. There's no question about that. If he could just make more contact, he would be a big leaguer because he has more than one big league tool, right? He's very good defensively. He's got a very good arm. He's got great speed. That's 3 out of 5. He's got some pop, but again, he needs to put the ball in play, and he knows that, and he's working on it. But McRae he got a lot of looks last year in spring training, and he's going to play a lot in the next couple weeks as well. There's a lot of talent there. He just needs to work and get better at a couple different areas. But I like watching him play, and he plays with a little edge too, which I think we all like. Do you think Gilbert makes the team as a fourth outfielder? I think Drew Gilbert, for his career, would probably be better suited to start the year in AAA. Not that I don't think he would be a decent fourth outfielder. I like him as a fourth outfielder defensively because he's an excellent defender. I mean, he can play big league center field. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The concern is, can he hit? Because he would be a left-handed bat coming off the bench, and that guy needs to hit. You need that, and that's the concern there. Is he a big league hitter? We don't know that yet. The Brennan guy has looked good, and he's got a couple years of big league experience, and he's a decent player. Right now, I would say that I would say that Brennan probably has a better chance to make the team than Gilbert. That's just not what I'm hearing, but what I'm seeing. Because the Brennan guy's he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, and he showed it some with Cleveland. Agreed. Letting players walk for nothing in return is my second biggest annoyance in baseball. The Giants can't afford this habit, even though we did it for years under Farhan. So, it's a fun time in spring training for me and for the fans because there's so much to talk about. Because you know who your starters are going to be. You know who's going to play where, but you still have roster spots that need to be filled. And sometimes those go down to the wire. And sometimes, guys, there's a surprise. There's a surprise almost every – Christian Koss was a surprise last year. So good stuff. That's week 3 or through week 3 of spring training. 3 more weeks to go. a lot of decisions to be made and a lot of things to watch for. And I'll continue to do that as I'm down here. So, hey, this week is going to be fun because the WBC gets started. We talk a lot about it. Yeah, it's I thought this, I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe what happened with the Olympics with the men's hockey team and the women's hockey team both winning gold, that maybe that got people thinking a little bit more about Team USA. I don't know. It's a possibility, but the WBC is coming. Giants are losing 8 players. 8 players are going to leave the Giants to go with the national team. Let me see. Who is it? Okay, let's see. Logan Webb, USA. Elliot Ramos, Puerto Rico. Jung-Hoo Lee, Korea. Harrison Bader, Israel. Tristan Beck, Great Britain. Luis Ariz, Venezuela. Jose Buto, Venezuela. And Raver San Martin, Colombia. Those are the 8 players that the Giants have that are participating in the WBC and who they're participating with. Logan Webb is leaving. He's going to Team USA. And interesting, Team USA is going to work out tomorrow right at Papago Park, which is the minor league complex for the Giants. It's just up the street. So anyways, it's going to be a fun week down here, okay? And I say that because Tuesday and Wednesday, multiple teams are going to be playing down here exhibition games against the big league teams. Like Tuesday here at Scottsdale Stadium, this is a big deal. Team USA, I'm going to read their roster. I mean, come on. It's an all-star team. They're coming here to play the Giants on Tuesday. I mean, how cool is that? But, and I looked up the schedule. Team Italy is playing the Cubs in Mesa. Great Britain is playing the Brewers in Maryvale. Team Cuba is playing the Royals in Surprise. Team Mexico is playing the Diamondbacks just up the road at Talking Stick. And then on Wednesday, there's a whole nother slate of exhibition games with these national teams against the big league teams around here in the Phoenix spring training area. How great is that? That's Tuesday and Wednesday. And then these national teams are gone. They're heading out. So it's kind of an exciting 4 or 5 day stretch here. And the USA will get started. I'm just looking. Yeah, everybody gets started on Friday. USA's first game is Friday against Brazil. Then they play Saturday against Great Britain, Monday against Mexico, Tuesday against Italy. That's their pool. They're in Pool B. Those are the 5 teams in that pool. Team USA will play in Houston. The other pools will be played in Puerto Rico, Tokyo, and Miami. So that's how it works. But it all starts on Friday, which is pretty exciting. Quarterfinals will be Miami and Houston. Those are the 2 venues where they will play, 2 locations. And then the semifinals and finals will be in Miami for the WCC. And if you make it to the championship game, it'll be Tuesday, March 17th. So that's how it's going to get all started. But again, listen to this. This is the team that's coming to Scottsdale Stadium to take on the Giants on Tuesday. I'm just going to name a few of the names, right? Clayton Kershaw, Paul Skeens, Mason Miller, Logan Webb, Tarek Skubal. That's just a handful of the pitchers. Listen to their catchers. Cal Raleigh and Will Smith. You can make a strong argument that that's the 2 best catchers in all of baseball. Your infielders, some of them, Alex Bregman, Bryce Harper, Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, Paul Goldschmidt. Their outfielders, Aaron Judge, Byron Buxton, Pete Crow Armstrong, designated hitter, Kyle Schwarber. That group is going to be here. So, I mean, that's exciting. Aaron Judge is going to be stepping in a batter's box. So I'm actually really excited about that on Tuesday. And then you think about it from the Giants' perspective, they have 8 players leaving, and their entire starting outfield is leaving. Ramos, Lee, Bader, they're all playing in the WBC. That gives a huge opportunity for some of these young Giants outfielders who are going to get more playing time in the next week. So that's exciting. Like we talked about Bo Davidson. I'm dying to see Bo Davidson get out there and be in the lineup, and I think we'll see that a little bit more. But Matos and Encarnacion, those guys that, they're fighting. They're fighting to see, are they going to make this team or not? We talked about Brennan, good left-handed hitter. Gilbert, Barracoto, Fitzgerald, all these outfielders who are all fighting for a spot, they're going to start to get more playing time this week, even though some of them have been playing quite a bit. But anyways, Luis Ariz is going to be gone. That opens up innings at second base for guys who want to show that they can play there at the big league level, whether it's Koss and Schmidt, or you know what? Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's Tyler Fitzgerald says, hey, I can play all over the field. We'll see. But this is an exciting week down here in this area. And I'm looking forward to the Tuesday to see Team USA with their manager, one of my favorite people, Mark DeRosa. So big week in Major League Baseball for that. And we'll watch closely because it's going to be certainly a lot of fun. Let's check the comments one more time before we head on out of here. All right, let's check. All right, here's one. All right, I love it. We're stepping the right way, playing top players. Let's see what Eldridge and Schmidt and Bo can do. Yeah, absolutely. I've been looking at Bo Davidson play every day since spring training started. He will start to get some time. I promise you. I promise you he will. Just they got to get other guys at bats too, guys who they know or have a chance to be on the big league team. Davidson is not going to be in the big leagues to start the season, but he's I'm absolutely looking forward to it. How are you, Kuip? I'm good. I'm actually really good, to be honest with you. I'm in Scottsdale talking to you guys, and it's all good. Giants are playing good baseball. Glenn, great show, Glenn. Can't wait to tune in on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. So anyways, it's enough about that. But listen, I'm going to wrap this up from Scottsdale Stadium. Again, there it is, babe. How does that look, huh? Is that not beautiful? Even when there's nobody here, it's beautiful. But I certainly hope you enjoyed the show. And again, I wanted to run this one more time. So tomorrow, Joe Rizzo and I will be at Camelback Ranch in Glendale. That's the spring training home of the White Sox and the Dodgers. And the Giants will be playing the White Sox tomorrow. And you can listen to Joe and I on the audio cast. Okay, that's found on sfgiants.com. It'll start around noon, first pitch. And Joe and I will have that game for you. So, again, go to sfgiants.com, listen there. And then on Tuesday, John Miller and myself on KMBR, super excited to be working with the Hall of Famer. That'll be the Giants versus Team USA right here at Scottsdale Stadium, 12:05 Pacific time, first pitch, with all the All-Stars, all the big-timers going to be right here for that game. So tune in on KMBR on Tuesday. So that is it for the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I love talking to you guys. I appreciate all you guys' support. You guys know that. And you know what? Before you know it, the Yankees will be at Oracle Park, and we'll all be starting the 2026 season. Hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. And again, thanks again for tuning in. And big week down here in Scottsdale. Giants look good, and that's good news for everybody. All right, let's check in with our sponsors one more time, starting with Tilden Properties. By investing in California's multifamily real estate with Tilden Properties, you will get equity buildup in the market. That's what you want. They're always looking for investors. If you're interested in becoming an investor with Tilden Properties, call them at 925-209-8558. And to check out their portfolio, go to tildenproperties.com. Also brought to you in part by the Kehrig Real Estate Team, a family-owned real estate team serving clients in Alamo, Danville, San Ramon, but really across the entire Bay Area. And they've been doing that for over 50 years. Now, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, connect with Mike Kehrig at Kehrigteam.com. That's Kehrig. Visit Kehrigteam.com or call them at 925-548-4133. Also brought to you in part by Partners Capital LLC. Whether it's professional athletes or families next door, Partners Capital delivers thoughtful planning, steady guidance, and a clear path forward. Partners Capital, it's your partner for a stronger financial future. If you're interested in talking with them, call them at 1-888-702-7743. Also brought to you by Area Rug Cleaning Direct. It's a subsidiary of Gamble's Flooring, family owned and proudly serving the Bay Area for over 35 years. Call Area Rug Cleaning Direct at 925-933-9999 for all your area rug needs. And also a shout out as we head out to Scottsdale, to my favorite restaurant in the East Bay now, Original Joe's, the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek, right in Broadway Plaza. Man, if you're looking for delicious Italian-American food, elegant but fun dining room, the atmosphere is great, the service is great. You have to check out Original Joe's, the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek. Telling you, you got to get your reservations now. It is a happening place. One of the best vibes in a restaurant that I've ever been in. And I'm like practically a regular there. I'm there all the time because the food is so great. My wife and I go there. The family goes there. But it is a super, super cool place. Check it out. But you got to get there. It is a busy, busy place. Open daily for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. That's the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek. All right, everybody, I'm going to head out. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show live from Scottsdale Stadium. And again, we'll see you later on this week with another edition of the Glen Kuiper Show. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. Have a good one.